My dad called me together, cedar branches, and soon we were sitting around a fire telling stories. Now we only have one life, but we remember others as we go from seed to seed, from glimmer to ashes. Our hands are very small, our eyes are very big as we sit around the fire telling stories. You were standing in the church, then you moved my way. I never saw anything so beautiful or so ordinary. It seemed like we'd met before in a dream as real as stone. We were sitting around a fire telling stories. Everyone is scared, everyone's alone, unless hand reach for hand when the trouble comes. All around the world, when the dark night falls, we should be sitting around the fire telling stories. Love moves like the wind, all we see is change. I tried so hard to hate you, but I love you just the same. When you're gonna visit, when we're gonna be sitting around a fire telling stories. Yesterday I was a boy, tearing through the woods. Oh, my dog was my buddy, and the wind was green and yellow. My dad called to me to gather cedar branches. Soon we were sitting around a fire telling stories.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mountain Minutes. Good to see everybody in chat this evening. Thanks for joining us. The music we heard was a song called Telling Stories from Greg Brown, a great Midwestern singer and songwriter from Iowa, actually. Yeah. So I can see, just like with the rest of you guys, fall came full on this week with cold mornings. And we need a little fire in the wood stove. We have snow flurry forecasts for tonight. And evenings that require stirring up the coals after the sun sets behind the ridge. Meanwhile, the news of the world is about the same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Mayhem, dysfunction, and conflict all around. And the endless cries of the sky is falling. Everywhere you hear, just gloom, doom, and disaster. Every day I ask myself, what can we do about it? And the answer I've come up with for the moment is that we need to share our stories more, to be producers of our own stories instead of consumers of all the other stories that are forced upon us with no good intent. So tonight's the first. I want to dedicate the show tonight to our friend Ruby, who's been gifting us with reading from one of her dad's books, The Genes of Gregoria, which is absolutely amazing. I just rush to hear it every morning. Almost every sentence in there is just full of truth sauce, and it's quite a gift she's giving us to take the time and energy to read that. It's a perfect example of what any of us can do. It's very inspiring, that she's doing it. And I also want to give special thanks to Zena for producing the readings and getting them up on the YouTube channel. They're on Zena's YouTube channel. If you want to put the link to your channel there, that would be good, Z, so everybody can catch up. I'm really pleased and gratified that OPN is able to present the program. I think we're all the better for it, so I appreciate that. So back to telling our own stories. Actually, in my artwork for the last 5 years or so, I've been exploring the whole idea of storytelling. I think all art and media are delivery systems for stories. I think the challenge that we face is that we're culturally conditioned to be dependent on other sources to entertain us, to provide us with stories, to solve our problems. It's like this whole thing, we've abdicated our, personal responsibility and personal skills. Our natural inventiveness and resourcefulness has been educated out of us in the schools because we're taught to rely on experts and professionals and to expect immediate perfection in everything. We've been sold snake oil and we've been made fearful, and I think we've willingly, maybe not consciously but unconsciously, given up our autonomy as self-reliant people. A lot of times we're afraid to try. I've done a whole series on this particular thing. We have to try. We have to do it. For thousands of years, people sat around campfires and shared stories. We need to take back that ability and exercise it. I think, not to be gloom and doom, so there's hope that as the world unravels, necessity will spark our inclination to invention and to do things and take some chances and take some risks. And it starts with stories, but then it will continue into our daily lives. And so the next piece is a little story about people who are doing things out of necessity.
Este es un objeto también que encontré en los últimos tiempos. Se pone en la corriente y con estos pequeños aditamentos es capaz de reanimar una batería de reloj no recargable. Sobre todo lo usan las personas que tienen aparatos de los sordos, ¿no? Las personas que tienen problemas acústicos, y estos aparatos necesitan baterías constantemente, entonces la gente le hace este tipo de objetos para ellos, ¿no? Para que puedan recargar todo el tiempo las baterías. Este tipo de objetos son los que me inspiraron a escribir el texto sobre desobediencia tecnológica. Hay como una reinterpretación de la tecnología y hay ya tanto conocimiento de electrónico, ingenieril, de este tipo de cosas, que las personas van ya más allá, siempre, y tratan de crear cosas siempre nuevas, ¿no? Te hablo de un fenómeno bien complejo que tiene muchos matices, muchos antecedentes. Hay siempre improvisación, hay invención o reinvención, hay reparación. Hay como muchos factores, ¿no? Muchos procesos que tú puedes encontrar o extraer de este tipo de objetos. Por ejemplo, de los años 60, cuando los americanos salen de Cuba y se llevan con ellos todos los ingenieros, Fidel empujó a que la gente aprendiera a trabajar con las máquinas y aparecieron montones de personas para que repararan. Se llamó el movimiento Asociación Nacional de Innovadores y Racionalizadores. Mientras más severa la crisis, más poderosa era la creatividad de las personas. Y tú veías en todas partes soluciones a las carencias que todo el tiempo estaban golpeando a la gente, ¿no? En todos los órdenes. Yo puedo hablarte de todo, desde transporte, juguetes para niños, comida, ropa, todo empezó a tener sucedáneos producidos por las personas, ¿no? Cuando nosotros empezamos, yo empecé a hacer este tipo de cosas con una persona que se llama Django Hernández, un artista cubano también. Empezamos a colectar este tipo de objetos por la ciudad en los años 94, posiblemente 95, que fue el momento en que esto se hizo visible de alguna manera. Cuando yo salgo de la escuela de diseño, el Estado ya no podía seguir manteniendo a las personas, las tiendas estaban completamente vacías. Había como una economía que estaba empezando a girar alrededor de este tipo de producciones. Y entonces nosotros salíamos de la escuela de diseño en ese momento, habíamos estudiado los dos diseño industrial, y empezamos a darnos cuenta que no teníamos trabajo. El país estaba parado, no había industria, no había nada, ¿no? Y empezamos a colectar inicialmente este tipo de objetos. Y ya desde ese momento yo no he parado de trabajar en este tipo de objetos, bueno, hasta el día de hoy, ¿no? Después de los años 97 aproximadamente, empecé a viajar por toda la isla, y lo hice casi hasta el 2007, ¿no? Hacía recorridos a todo lo largo de la isla, durante un mes por cada pueblo y provincia, recolectando, hablando con la gente, haciendo fotografías. Y hay objetos que son típicos de cada región, y hay objetos que son comunes a toda la isla. Por ejemplo, la antena de bandejas, que es la antena que está hecha con este plato de aluminio que estaba en todo el país, que era una materia estandarizada también, porque todos los espacios públicos donde la gente comía o almorzaba tenían este objeto. Todos los cubanos reconocen este objeto. Es decir, si había un objeto que era capaz de explicar la masificación de esta inventiva, era la antena de bandejas. El gobierno tenía conciencia de que la cosa venía muy mala, ¿no? De que venía una crisis bien compleja. Entonces hicieron un libro que lo hizo el ejército, se llamaba El Libro de la Familia. Y entonces le explicaban a la gente, aquí es como una recopilación de libros incluso de mecánica popular y de muchas otras publicaciones internacionales y todo. Reparaciones sencillas de efectos electrodomésticos. Tiene reparaciones de estos objetos, tiene cosas medicinales, fitoterapia, cosas con plantas medicinales, protección y supervivencia. Fidel Castro llamaba a esta crisis periodo especial en tiempo de paz. Pero muchas de las cosas que había estado preparando el ejército, por si Cuba era supuestamente atacada por los norteamericanos, todo ese conocimiento se puso en este libro, ¿no? En menos de un año, 2 años, ellos quisieron preguntar a ver a dónde había ido esto, ¿no? Y este libro está hecho de todo lo que las personas le mandaron que se podían hacer a ellos mismos, ¿no? Entonces es un libro hecho, todas las ideas que están aquí son ideas de la población. Se llama Con nuestros propios esfuerzos. Por ejemplo, uno de los que se ha hecho más famoso es el bistec que la gente hacía con toronja, ¿no? Que la masa de la toronja es bien fuerte. Las personas cogían, le quitaban la cosa amarga que tiene la toronja y lo adobaban, le echaban ajo, cebolla, diferentes cosas, limón, y entonces lo freían y lo comían como si fuera bistec, pero al final era la masa. Hasta los años 80 y 90 existían objetos muy estándar en la ciudad, en todo el país. La lavadora específicamente estaba en todas partes, en todas las casas, la podías ver en donde quiera. La transformación más importante sobre este objeto era que se cortaba la mitad del objeto. ¿Por qué? Porque la parte de la secadora se rompía. Entonces el objeto era como muy pesado, muy grande dentro de la casa, y terminaron cortando el objeto a la mitad, desechaban una parte, entre comillas, porque el motor iba quizás para otra parte, para un ventilador o para una máquina para pulir zapatos o para hacer una copiadora de llave, para otra función, pero la lavadora quedaba como un objeto comprimido. Si las personas complejizan, van más allá de las posibilidades reales que le da el objeto y tratan de superar incluso las limitaciones que el objeto impone. Yo siempre he hablado de esto, de que este tipo de cosas a la misma vez le impone a la persona un límite, le impone una limitación, porque ya viene con un código establecido tecnológico y no satisface casi siempre todas sus necesidades, y él logra superar a veces esas necesidades, él logra rebasar las cualidades del objeto, ¿no? En el caso de Rickinbilly, de este tipo de motores, yo lo vi como, empecé a verlo como quizás no son ellos realmente no tienen el mismo peso que la arquitectura para explicar los objetos y la cultura material en general, pero Rickinbilly tenía es como un hito, ¿no? El conocimiento técnico del cubano empleado en estos años de crisis, y resumía muchísimas ideas y sobre todo resumía el atrevimiento a enfrentarse con tecnología bien compleja a veces, ¿no? Y poner su vida incluso a riesgo de usar un objeto que podía perfectamente matarlo, haberlo lanzado hacia el espacio, a cualquier lugar, ¿no? Entonces en ese momento descubrí la idea también de la desobediencia tecnológica. Es decir, haciendo la investigación sobre los Rickinbilly, di con la palabra desobediencia tecnológica, y era como me permitía sintetizar cómo se estaban comportando los cubanos ante las tecnologías y cómo irrespetaban determinados criterios de autoridad que tienen los objetos contemporáneos, ¿no? Cómo el cubano saltaba esa autoridad. Yo siempre hablo de la imagen, la imagen que pongo es que de tanto como el cirujano, que de tanto abrir los cuerpos, se hace insensible a la sangre, al olor de la sangre, a las vísceras. Al cubano le pasa igual. Después que abre un ventilador, ya él está acostumbrado a ver todo por dentro, todo desarmado, todo así, que todos los signos que hacen de un objeto, una unidad, una entidad única, un concepto único, para el cubano no existe. El cubano con la mente violenta ese tipo de cosas, ¿no? Las personas estaban tan empujados en la crisis, se sentían tan apretados, es como un animal, ¿no? Es como un animal que está encerrado, sin comida, entonces es capaz de saltar cualquier tipo de barrera, de límites, ¿no? Y de esa manera rompe todos los límites estéticos, legales, económicos, y esa liberación es una liberación moral.
So that was a story about resourcefulness sparked by necessity. I love it. And the little graphic I made for tonight, trust your cape, of course, void the warranty, violate a user agreement, fry a circuit, blow a fuse, and break a law, and become, independent and self-sufficient. Don't be afraid. Try it. I look at this video and I say, wow, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. And around my place, it's kind of a joke in that when something breaks, my first attempt is I'll try to fix it, because I figure if I have to pay somebody else to fix it, I'm going to make sure it's broken really well. So you have to be fearless. I asked myself, what's one thing that all of us could easily produce that would have a wide-ranging effect? And I come back to it being our stories. If we can exchange inspirations, ideas, skills, and solutions gained from direct experience, that's one of the greatest gifts we can give each other. Anyone and everyone can share a story. We can make flyers, we can do newsletters, we can make a zine, you can do a blog, a podcast, a tiny chat show, a YouTube video, or a live stream, or a piece of art. You can write something on a piece of cardboard and post it on a telephone pole. Get your stories out there. They can be simple or elaborate, printed or copied or live or recorded. You don't underestimate the value of low tech, like writing a letter or making a phone call or doing a simple little audio recording to share with people. I think back to Ruby's story about her dad recording the marches and then playing them on the phone for radio stations. Almost everything can be done free or near cheap. I mean, everything I do, I try to make it free because, I can't do much more than that. But I believe we need to expand our conversations and challenge every avenue of mainstream media by developing and distributing our own stories with authentic content. And that's the beautiful thing about Ruby's reading of her dad's book. That was real life by real people that really happened. And you can't deny it. I mean, it's right there for all of us to see. You can check it, you can verify it. It's the true stuff, and it shows where we've come from and where we're going. If we're honest, factual, clear, and avoid the echo chamber, we can reach out and touch people's hearts and minds. We can make and share the stories that we want to see, hear, and read. And I think positive stories shared will lead to positive actions. You know, because it inspires you to do stuff. And so for folks who are still saying like, oh, I could never do that, or I'm not talented, or I'm not skilled, the next little piece is to show you exactly how easy it is to do something. And you shouldn't deny the impact that just a small little effort will make. So we'll roll this up. Thank you. I'm comic relief. That was 1 minute to show us how easy it is to do something. Just to make a zine, you could do that, just a couple of pages with your ideas or your story in it, put it on windshields in the parking lot at the grocery store. It could just even be a flyer, you know, get your observations and ideas out there. We can do inexpensive, true life, grassroots media. There's thousands of how-to videos out there. If you guys jump on YouTube, if you have an idea of, oh, I'd like to make a book, or I'd like to make a zine, or I'd like to make a recording, you can learn it. The internet is like the Alexandria library of our time. It's just used for so much crap that we forget that there's some great value in there. So we go out there and seek it, and you can learn how to do things. Besides that, we all know plenty of people who can teach us how to use the tools we're interested in. You know, for example, Z doing her Tiny Chat tutorial. That's what we're talking about, skill sharing and all that. Get your, learn how to do something, then do it. I can't encourage people enough that we all need to produce instead of consume, and share as many of our stories as we can. So this is because you guys have heard me say a lot about it in the chat recently. I've been reading a lot about the evolution of radio in the United States, from the 20s to the 50s mostly. And it's easy to see the parallels between that and today's technology. On the left, you have the family gathered around the radio listening to a fireside chat or something from FDR in the 30s. On the right, you have folks in an African village gathered around a laptop computer, listening to the news or current events, or finding out some stories from faraway places. It's not that big a leap. We all can be producers of this kind of material, and we can break the stranglehold of MSN and commercial media, which distorts our vision and thinking. We just need to distribute and share our stories better. what we see and what we hear changes how we think and thus who we are. So if we roll out positive stories, positive experiences, and solutions, then things can only get better. There's one thing we have to remember in the midst of all that. They may control the avenues of distribution, but we can use their tools against them. So that's the kind of the moral of the story. Just give it a try. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. That's it for tonight's Mountain Minutes. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, supporting Other Possibilities and the other channels that might be mirroring us. Be sure to tune in to WZEN in the mornings. And Ruby reads again tomorrow morning, I think. Also want to give a shout out and encourage you guys to watch our friends on Global Occupy News Network and Ranters Unite for the current events and evening news. Thanks again to Ruby for reading to us, and I hope you guys all take care and do good works. Every little bit matters. So we're going to take you out with a tune by Pat Humphreys called Swimming to the Other Side, and the photo I'm going to show you is actually yet another handmade object that starts conversations. Good night, everybody. I love you all.
We are living like a great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone, I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced on the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection it be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance on the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together, we're all swimming to the other side. We are living Great Big Dipper.